How to stay warm when you're working from home without turning the heating on. This is on the conversation by Mike Tipton, Hugh Montgomery. If you're working from home all or part of the time, the chances are that your home working space is getting chillier as winter sets in. But with heating so expensive right now, having it all on all day is not really an affordable option. So what can we do to stay warm? In evolutionary terms, we are tropical animals. When naked and at rest, we're most comfortable in air around 28 degrees Celsius with an average skin surface temperature of 33 Celsius. But to survive and function normally, we must also maintain our deep body core temperature close to 37 degrees Celsius. The process of doing so, thermoregulation, involves our body sensing its temperature. We have sensors just beneath the skin surface as well as in deeper tissue like the brain, then adjusting our heat production, gain and loss accordingly. In a cold room, the skin's cold receptors are the first to be stimulated and cause the skin's blood vessels to constrict, redirecting warm blood beneath the insulating fat layer we have just beneath the skin. Because hands and feet require blood flow to keep them warm and functional and have little fat coverage, they cool quickly. So in a cold room, the first parts of us to feel cold are the extremities, our fingers and toes. I would say also our head, the top of our head. If you keep that covered, you tend to be much warmer. Now, if cooling continues, the superficial nerves, muscles, and joints, especially of the arms, can become impaired, meaning that dexterity, speed of movement, and sensitivity to touch suffer. And this can make tasks like typing and texting harder, slower, and more prone to error. Work efficiency can be further impaired by the distraction of feeling cold. The solutions: our first task is to keep our extremities warm by keeping blood flowing to them, and the best way of doing this is by maintaining or raising our core body temperature. There's no need to heat a whole house or room. You're much better off heating yourself up, and it starts with making sure you're wearing appropriate clothing. Clothes such as woolen jumpers and legging trap millions of tiny pockets of air which provide insulation. Thermals are great, but multiple layers of ordinary clothing can work just as well. If sitting, a blanket or duvet over the legs and waist can help. Add a hot water bottle underneath, or use a wearable electric blanket if you want. Remember, heating the human, not the house, is much cheaper. Because the temperature of the hands and feet dominate the overall perception of thermal discomfort, focusing on these areas is a key. Think insulating socks, slippers, and fingerless gloves. Placing your hands on your armpits when you're typing can help. If you want to splash out, heated gloves and slippers could also be an option. As mountaineers say, if you want warm hands, wear a hat. Scalp blood vessels don't constrict as much as in the cold, meaning that heat can be lost through the head. So it's worth having a hat available on your desk. Heat can also be lost as it rises from underneath clothing and escapes at the neck. So wearing a scarf, buff, or polo neck helps as well. You also you might like to try exercising. Around 3/4 of the energy used for exercise comes out as heat. So just stepping up and down the bottom step of a staircase can generate 100 watts of heating and start to raise your body temperature in a few minutes. A short period of exercise now and again can make a big difference to your thermal comfort and is good for your general health as well. Other tips: keeping hydrated is important for ensuring blood flow to the extremities. You don't need to drink loads, but drink if you are feeling thirsty. Warm drinks are definitely comforting to make you feel warmer, but don't in fact affect your core temperature much or for long. You need to eat enough calories to burn for heat generation. Most of us eat more than enough, though an extra is not generally needed unless you are ill or malnourished for other reasons. Our cold receptors are very sensitive to changes in temperature, so drafts can make us feel disproportionately cold and also waste energy and cost money. Use drafts excluders at doors. Ensure that heat loss around and through the windows is minimized. Make sure that the attic is well insulated. Also, a cold feet cause as cold feet cause thermal discomfort. Keeping them off the floor, out of any drafts helps. Stress can also reduce blood flow to the skin, making you feel colder, so try to avoid stress when working at home if you can. Or kill two birds with one stone. If you feel yourself becoming stressed, step away from your desk and do a few minutes of exercise. You can even stick your hat, scarf, and coat on and go for a brisk walk around the block, which should clear your head and warm you up. You can check the temperature of your fingers by touching your lips. If your fingers feel warm on your lips, they are getting some blood flow. If they feel cold, you need to do something to warm them up. If you're using your heating, if possible, heat the room you'll be in rather than the whole house. Turning the thermostat down by just 1 degree Celsius from 20 to 19 Celsius can save you 10% a year in energy costs, and there are further savings to be made by reducing the temperature to the minimum recommended of 18 degrees Celsius. So this is on The Conversation by Mike Tipton, Professor of Human and Applied Physiology, University of Portsmouth, and Hugh Montgomery, Professor of Intensive Care Medicine, UCL of the UK. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.